You know those stories in the Bible that you kind of just shuffle past quietly because you're not really sure you have your arms around it? You have a good idea what it's saying, but you're kind of afraid of the lesson it might have to teach. For me, this has always been the story of the rich young ruler in the Gospel of Mark. That story is one I've always wrestled with when I've been trying to reconcile my relationship with Christ with professional and personal pursuits. Finding the right balance of maintaining discipline and practicing generosity while avoiding the desire to distill everything into a formula has been challenging for me. It's human nature to leverage the resources we have to influence our environment. Too often, I use tithing and financial giving to absolve myself of other opportunities to be generous. Like I gave 10%, I'm good, right? That's, check the box. But what I've realized over the last months and years is that's not generosity, right? That's using tithing as a shield to hide behind and hide from opportunities to be generous to others. And so I don't think that the rich young ruler's downfall was giving or not giving away 10%, 20%, or 100% of his belongings. I think the problem lies with the question that he asked. Good teacher, what shall I do so that I may inherit eternal life? Jesus gives an impossible answer to an impossible question. The right question is not how much should I sacrifice or give, but rather have I surrendered myself to the knowledge that Christ has given me everything and there's nothing I can do to sanctify myself. Because when you sacrifice something, you're in control, right? You choose what you're giving away. Sacrifice doesn't require surrender. Christ surrendered all of himself for us, and a relationship with Christ requires a surrender of ourselves to follow him. Once I started practicing generosity with that mindset, I was able to let go of the analytical part of my brain that just wants to distill everything down to dollars and cents.
So what does that look like for us in a practical way? For us, it starts with the recognition that financial giving is just one aspect of generosity. Being generous with our time and our relationships is just as important. And as life has gotten a lot fuller as new parents, we've had to really be intentional to carve out space for others so that the busyness of life doesn't erode that space. It requires the posture of abundance rather than scarcity. It's simpler to blame the scarcity of time and energy in our lives and commit to being generous in a future, less hectic season of life, which, let's be honest, isn't happening. So when we were asked to host our small group, I immediately thought of all the reasons not to do it. Aaron's busy work days, Jack's carefully, perfectly curated bedtime routine, and settling into a new house. But I'm so thankful we chose to say yes and saw past all of that. This act of hosting has returned a richer, deeper time for us and has provided space for us to reconnect with ourselves and others during a busy week. For us, generosity is a continual practice in surrendering control and recognizing the good thing God has for us so that we can live open-handed in our finances, time, and relationships with others.